I have a nice stack of books to haul today. I'm super excited about this one. There are quite a few special editions in it, and once again, I've just had them sitting in my office waiting to be hauled. Let's just dive right into it. I am pumped about this. So first off, I got Girl Dinner by Olivia Blake. This is the sprayed edge edition. It's pretty simple sprayed edge, it's just pink, but I think it matches the cover quite beautifully. Now, I intentionally do not know much about this book. All I knew was that it was Olivia Blake, and Olivia Blake's kind of an insta buy for me now. I've only read Alone with You in the Ether, but it was that good. This one has been on my radar since it came out, but I was waiting for it to hopefully go on sale, and I did find it on Book Outlet for cheap. And I really lucked out with this one because there is not a single ding, nick, dot, or scratch on it. Like, it is perfect quality. And I paid like 10 bucks for it, so as opposed to the original $41.99 Canadian. That is wild. Hopefully it's just as good as Alone with You in the Ether. I do have quite a few Olivia Blakes on my shelf that I need to get to before this one, but I'm still excited about it nonetheless. Then I am really extremely late to the party on this one, but I finally bought the Fourth Wing trilogy, and I got the deluxe editions with these gorgeous sprayed edges with the dragons on the side of them. Once again, I got them for cheap from Book Outlet, and I have heard very mixed reviews on these ones. Some people love it, some people hate it. I have a friend who really enjoyed it, and so that kind of convinced me to give it a whirl. I thought I was never really going to, but here we are, and I decided I'm going to. So the first one is Fourth Wing, the second one is Iron Flame, and the third one is Onyx Storm. I do hope to eventually read all three of these books, maybe in their own dedicated vlog. I think that would be a lot of fun. I am really nervous about them though, because they have a lot of lovers and a lot of haters, so no matter what your opinion is, you're gonna piss somebody off. Then again from Book Outlet, I got this gorgeous edition of We Live Here Now by Sarah Pinbrough. I believe this one is considered like a thriller slash horror. And again, we have some gorgeous sprayed edges on this one. It was super cheap. Man, looking at this author's backlog too, she has written a lot of books. I did not know that. So if this is good, I'm gonna definitely have to look into those. Anyway, back to this book. This one is supposed to be kind of a modern gothic tale about a creepy haunted country house. That's all I really know about it. I love haunted house books. I think they're so much fun, so I wanted to give this one a whirl. It gets a lot of hype, and I am really hoping that it lives up to that hype. Next, I found this hilarious little A to Z of Death in Tolkien book. It's literally just a cute little book. I mean, the contents of it aren't that cute. And it lists off A to Z of characters who died in Tolkien books with pictures, and then at the end of it there is an explanation on each and every one of them, how they died, what book they were in, and I think exactly who they were. I'll show you one that is not a spoiler, that way if for some reason you've never read or watched The Lord of the Rings, or you've somehow also never been spoiled for it, I'm saving you from a spoiler. But this one is super cute. It's X is for Axe and Gimli's killed 42. There's a bunch of clever ones like that all throughout. There is a few as well that I'm like, damn, they really went there. I thought this was a super cute book to add to my Tolkien collection. I think I found this one in a Kohl's. And I also was not looking for it. I didn't even know this existed until I stumbled upon it, and it was definitely worth the $21 that I spent on it. Then I got Say You're Sorry by Karen Rose. This is the first book of the Sacramento series. It is supposed to be a serial killer cult sort of situation, and I have book 2 and 3 already, so I have been biding my time and waiting patiently until book 1 finally went on Book Outlet, because I really want to dig into the series soon, and they finally got it on their website. Now this is a trilogy, but I think it's a trilogy within a bigger series. I have read that people said it's okay to start here, so that's what I'm going to do, and if I do like it, I'd probably look at reading the rest of the series, but I just want to start with the trilogy for now and see if it's something that I'm into. It is a chunky book, so I am a little bit intimidated, but hopefully it's like a Stephen King where you just fly through it. It doesn't feel actually as big as what it is. Then, of course, I did it again. I got another edition of Pride and Prejudice. This one was dirt cheap, and it's just simple and classic, and I didn't need it, but I needed it, if you know what I mean. And then the last part of this short and sweet haul, the one that I have been dying to share with you, is this gorgeous deluxe edition set of Twilight. These are all hardcover, sprayed edges, originally over $200 Canadian. I was not paying that, and I never thought that I would see it on Book Outlet, but there it was sitting there for $80 waiting for me. $80 for 5 hardcovers, by the way, is unheard of in Canada. That is wild. So first I'll just show you the beautiful box that it came in. I'm not normally one for, oh, I guess bottom's not that exciting. I'm not normally one for keeping the boxes. I shouldn't say that. I don't love the way they look on my shelf all the time, but this one is beautiful. It's part of the artwork that goes with the series. So then first we have Twilight. Beautiful, gorgeous, and look at the sprayed edges. I also just have to show you the inside of the hardcover. It is this beautiful forest green. Literally to die for. One of my favorite shades of green. And to stay true to the original cover, there is even a little apple on the front, which is super cute. Then we have New Moon. My least favorite book, but I think my favorite cover out of all of them for this one. Just the trees by the shore. Oh my gosh, and the beautiful blue color they chose for the water. And again, sprayed edges. Love this edition so freaking much. Then we have this mountaintop for Eclipse. Again, sprayed edges, and the sprayed edges are consistent throughout, so they all go together, which is quite nice. Then Breaking Dawn. I think this is maybe my least favorite cover. I do really like the trees on the side, but I don't know, the house just isn't doing it for me. That being said, it is still gorgeous. Like, I'm not saying it's not, it's just my least favorite out of all of them. And then we have Midnight Sun, which I have never read. This is Twilight told from the perspective of Edward. And I always told myself I probably was never going to read it because I don't want to be inside a man's head, and I never cared to know what Edward was thinking. I was happy just getting the perspective of Bella. I didn't even like being in Jacob's head, honestly. When I go to reread Twilight, I tend to skip those parts just because they're cringy to me. But some people say that they actually loved this one more than the original, so I am willing to give it a go. And I'm kind of glad it came in this set because it just completes it, and it's quite beautiful. I think they're poppies on the spine. So when you put all the spines together, they show this beautiful floral scene where it slowly blooms into color on Midnight Sun. I'm assuming that that has some sort of meaning to it. I'll find out when I read Midnight Sun, I guess. But I made a deal with myself that if I was going to purchase this, then I was going to probably donate the original Twilight set on my shelf because I don't need 3 copies of Twilight because I also have the 20th anniversary edition of the first book, but I don't need 2 copies of the entire series. So that was the compromise I made for myself, but I have been putting off hauling this set because I have a hard time letting go of books sometimes, especially if they're a series that I hold close to my heart, but I don't need 2 copies, and this one is definitely the most beautiful of the 2. So that was my justification for buying this one. I had to put it down because it is super freaking heavy. That being said, I guess, hopefully when I do my next book unhaul, I will stay true to my word and be unhauling that series in their original covers. But that is it for today's book haul. Short and sweet, but I'm very excited about each and every one of these books. I got some very beautiful books, and I cannot wait to see if the inside is just as beautiful as the outside. With that, I am going to leave this one here. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and happy reading.